اینجا NHK World Japan در توکیو است. به اطلاع می‌رسانیم که همکنون پخش زبان فارسی موقتاً متوقف می‌شود. از این لحظه شما صدای برنامه خبری نیوزلاین را به زبان انگلیسی خواهید شنید.
Hello, this is NHK Newsline. I'm Keiko Kitagawa in Tokyo. We start this hour in the U.S., where more than 30 states have ended their coronavirus lockdowns and started to reopen their economies. The shift is prompting concern among health officials who note that in some of those states, the daily number of new cases is increasing. The U.S. continues to record about 20,000 infections each day, but authorities in 31 states believe the outbreak is passing its peak. They've allowed businesses in some industries to go back to work. Authorities in California have given permission to bookshops, florists, clothing retailers, and some other stores to reopen. But they say staff and customers must continue to maintain distance and that transactions have to take place outside shops. Illinois is one of the states that's begun to ease restrictions, but the numbers of new daily cases there continue to rise. 10 other states that are reopening are also reporting an increase in infections. Researchers project the easing of lockdown measures could push the death toll in the U.S. to nearly 135,000 through early August. The latest figures from Johns Hopkins University show the number of coronavirus cases worldwide now exceeds 3.9 million. The U.S. has recorded more infections than any other country with over 1.2 million cases, as followed by Spain and Italy. The global death toll is over 270,000. U.S. unemployment has surged to a historic high, according to a key jobs report. The numbers reflect the speed at which businesses shed workers last month as the nation locked down against the coronavirus. The U.S. Labor Department said Friday the April jobless rate shot to 14.7% from 4.4% in March. Non-farm payrolls fell by more than 20 million in April from the previous month. It's the worst set of numbers since record-keeping began in 1948. Financial markets have mostly shrugged off bleak data linked to the coronavirus. With several states easing up on business restrictions, investors have pinned their hopes on revived consumer spending. The U.S. Congressional Budget Office is predicting the economy will improve significantly in the period from July to September, but it still expects the unemployment rate to stand at around 10% by the end of next year. Taiwan now, where it's game on for pro baseball with something that's been missing for weeks, bums on seats. Fans are back for the first time since the season began on April 12 amid the coronavirus pandemic. Authorities allowed up to 1,000 per stadium starting on Friday when 2 games were played. In New Taipei City, they received temperature checks at the entrance. The spectators were assigned a seat shown on their tickets to enable contact tracing in case someone is infected. They were also arranged spaciously to ensure social distancing.
就是一直很期待这一天赶快来，对，那今天开放进场了，所以就很兴奋啦，对，就是也觉得很骄傲，说我们可以当世界第一个进场的球迷。
有一些游戏规则可能真的比较不方便，包括吃东西啊，还有就是我们人与人之间的间隔这样子。但是我想说，大家都应该是可以很努力去接受，一起珍惜这个得来不易的机会。
Taiwan authorities say they want to gradually allow more spectators into stadiums while staying vigilant for new infections. Here in Tokyo, officials are once again reporting a relatively small number of new coronavirus infections. They announced 39 cases in the capital on Friday. The figure has clocked in below the 100 mark now for 6 straight days. The latest announcement follows a string of public holidays which ended on Wednesday. More than 4,800 people have now tested positive for the virus in a city of 14 million. The central government has started providing subsidies to small and medium-sized companies affected by the antivirus measures. They can receive up to 2 million yen, or about $19,000, if their monthly revenue has dropped more than 50% compared to last year. About 500,000 companies, business owners and freelancers had applied for the subsidy as of Thursday. Around 23,000 of them received the money on Friday.
I really appreciate it because this gives me some time to think about what to do next. But I'm afraid the money won't last long. If the current situation continues, I hope I can get more financial help.
The government is also providing all residents with cash handouts of about $940. The whole country is under a state of emergency until the end of May, but government officials plan to hear from experts every week as they consider when to lift that measure in each prefecture.
We are particularly focused on how the number of new cases has decreased over the last 2 weeks. In other words, the weekly trends.
Some parts of the country that have been less affected by the virus are gradually easing stay-at-home measures. Residents in 27 of Japan's 47 prefectures may be asked only to refrain from traveling outside their prefecture and to steer clear of host or hostess bars. More than 15,000 people in the country have tested positive for the coronavirus. Over 600 have died. The Japanese government has officially revised its criteria for testing people who may be infected. Until now, polymerase chain reaction tests were being carried out on people who had a fever of 37.5 degrees Celsius or higher for a few days. Under the new criteria, those suffering from other symptoms like breathing problems or exhaustion will also be eligible if a doctor says it's necessary. While the change should allow more people to be tested, some believe it doesn't go far enough.
I feel like the guidelines were revised without enough explanation to the public. There is so much information and expert opinion about this, and it's too much for people like us to understand.
If they change the criteria, it still doesn't guarantee that you'll be able to be tested.
This expert says the next step is to ramp up capacity at healthcare facilities already under strain.
Resources like medical supplies and staff are limited. We have to find a way to carry out PCR tests without any confusion due to the increase in testing.
The Health Ministry estimates around 17,000 PCR tests could be conducted across the country every day, but in practice, only about 9,000 at most are carried out. Smartphones are another tool that can help contain infections. The Japanese government plans to make a coronavirus contact tracing app available soon. Officials met on Friday to discuss the use of information technology, including the app, AI, and collaborating with the private sector. The app records data from smartphones that come within a certain distance of each other. It can alert users if they have been in close contact with someone diagnosed with.
شنوندگان عزیز، امروز بازپخش برنامه‌ای که قبلا روز 26 اکتبر 2019 پخش شده را میشنوید.